Hello everyone, this is Tamal Mukherjee on behalf of Literoma. As you all know, since the last 1 month, we had a fantastic 1 month. It had been a hectic 1 month as well. The Tagore Fest was going on, which is the flagship event, one of the flagship events that we do here in Literoma. And this time we were really lucky. We got Big FM along with us, and Big FM actually had come up with a very innovative program. They named it as Robindranath Ekhon was the name of the program. So in English, if I have to translate, the idea is basically to look at the Tagore creations, his famous novels, stories, and poems through the lens of 2023, the present era, and how some of the ideas of Tagore are still relevant. So some of your stories were picked up. They actually had undergone a series of reviews by the content team of radio, and they said that, okay, hey, this is one content written by this writer, which actually still resembles the work of Tagore, and that's why the works of Tagore are still relevant. So first of all, congratulations on being the selected few. Actually, we had picked up from our side and sent a set of writers' works, and then you are the selected few whose ideas, whose works, creative write-ups got picked up by the radio and were aired since the last 10-15 days, starting from 18th May. So on 28th of May, we had a big offline event in Robindra Tirtho, Newtown, Kolkata, where all the RJs from Big FM Kolkata were there. They narrated your stories live to the audience, and they were accompanied by famous actor and singer, Mr. Saheb Chattopadhyay, who also sang according to the stories which were contemporarized by them. So that was the idea. We have here Mr. Sabarna, we have Mr. Biswajit Banerji, we have Mr. N.S. Ravi with us. We are absolutely privileged to have you here in this online segment. So first, I'll start off with, on my screen, I can see Mr. N.S. Ravi as the first one. So I'll start off with Mr. N.S. Ravi. Sir, we had seen that you had come up with a very innovative concept of mango tree. You had written a book, Mango Tree, and we discussed about it. We presented books in the event as well to everyone who gathered in the event. So if you can tell, because it is not something which is a story written by Rabindranath Tagore, but it's an idea of the great poet, the Rabindranath Tagore. And based on that idea, actually, in radio, we had come up with this story. And if you can tell me, how does it feel, sir? We'll start off with you.
Oh, it feels great. You know, I have a connect with Calcutta, as it was called those days. I was born in Calcutta. I was born on a Sunday, and I got the name Ravi from my grandmother, who was very fond of Rabindranath Tagore, and that is how I got the name Ravi. So, if you are talking about a connect with Tagore Festival, that is the beginning of the connect. Now, coming to the book, why I wrote it. You see, I mean, 10 years back, or yeah, actually 2010 to be precise, I had taken up an assignment in African country called Gabon, West African country. There, they were undertaking a project to set up a free trade zone for converting wood logs. Earlier, Gabon was one of the largest exporters of logs, and it's a big country but very small population. And I saw, you know, the government was sort of worried that there was too much of deforestation, and they started deciding that everyone who wanted a license to cut the tree had to first plant a tree, and it was, I think, at the rate of 10 to one tree you want to cut, you have to plant 10 trees. And they decided to construct a free trade zone where all the wood will be transformed into finished product inside Gabon, and thereby create employment. Now, I was in that formative stage where we were we were given a 400-hectare plot. Totally, we ransacked the place. You can say literally ransacked. Got rid of all the trees and all. Why? to create a place where they can build factories to convert these logs into food. It was quite ironical, but
Hmm.
I saw with my own eyes what was happening. I was party to it. But then we said, yes, you're commissioned to do something, so we did. That has been always in my mind that this sort of deforestation drive and for in the to aid forestation. I mean, it is something really illogical, but then that was logic there. And then I said, okay, I came back from Gabon in 2014. Then after that, I've been writing books. I took retirement from my commercial world, and I've been writing books. Then suddenly one day, I said, why not write about pro, you know protecting and enthusing tree plantation? That is how the concept of mango tree uh, really grew. And then I wanted it to be not. I wanted it to be youth driven. Because as there is a very famous saying that we are all just custodians of forests for the future generation. So I said, why not write a book which is very, very simple English, absolutely simple, not a great, not a very big, complicated story, a simple story, literally narrated by a mango tree. So that is how the entire thing worked out. And I said, okay. Then, I luckily I had some good contacts, and I requested them to sponsor the book, printing of the book. And luckily, I was able to get sponsorship for around 1,500 books. And I have been giving these books free to those people, those institutions who are interested in enthusing youngsters to plant trees. In exchange, you plant a tree, I'll give you a book. And it has been working very reasonably well, I would say. And I've got, sponsorship for another 500 books. So I should, hopefully, I think it'll carry on. So that is the basic idea about Mango Tree. I've done some few sessions in few schools. I've been trying to work with uh, Isha Foundation. They have taken 100 books to distribute in their 10 schools to plant trees and things. So they basically this idea. Mango Tree is purely a non-commercial venture aimed at promoting tree plantation through youngsters.
Absolutely, sir. And you will be glad to know that the radio people liked your idea so much that they had gone ahead and announced your idea of Mango Tree as a social partner of the entire event, Rabindranath Icon. So that way, they also
Yeah, I
became
saw
much
that. I
more
was really
glorified.
impressed. I was flattered, I would say.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for sharing the background of the entire concept of Mango Tree. Now, I'll be moving to Mr. Shaborno Roy with the same question. So, how does it feel to be one of the winners and in this very innovative event that we did with Big FM Rabindranath Tagore?
Well, winning anything is a very humbling experience. I think my story, Fallen Man, was selected
Yeah,
on the premise that it resembles Ghore Baire of Rabindranath. Fallen Man is the first story that I wrote when I started writing seriously in 2007. So this story basically dates back to the summer of 2007 when I started writing. But the events unfold as they are, dating back to my university days. Ghore Baire had two male protagonists and one female protagonist against the backdrop of 1905 Bengal partition and its various trends associated, political strands associated with the Bengal partition movement. It's a magnum opus, but of course, my story is not does not have a canvas as complex, as intriguing, and as layered even craft-wise, compared to Ravi Thakur's Ghare Baire. But in the sense that my story also had two male protagonists and one female protagonist, and there were certain political issues discussed in the story. It's a long story. It's a 72-page story. I think there was some resemblance found. I have not actually myself listened to the recording of the story because I am in Bangalore and the timings were not very conducive to my work environment when I could have listened to the story. Ritika told me that she would send me a recording of the story. In fact, I was so busy that I could not even send the introduction bite for my story. Having said that, it feels good to be associated with Ravi Thakur's themes and textures and his terrain of writing, many of which are even topical today. And I feel good and very happy and satisfied to have made this mark. But overall, it has been a very humbling experience.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We know that you are already a decorated writer, and this just adds. This is another feather which got added. So congratulations once again, sir. So I'll be moving to
Thank you.
Mr. Banerji, Mr. Biswajit Banerji, with the same questions.
Thank you, Tamal. I'm really elated to find my name in the list of winners for this Tagore Fest and broadcasted by Radio FM. Look, there are two things. Number one is my story was in English. And so whenever your story gets translated, it has got ramifications in the form of a wider reach. And more people get to read your story. More people get to know your ideas. And so that's a great honor, in fact, because the Radio FM had, of course, aired the stories in Bengali. And that was an honor to get translated in the first place. And secondly, to actually find that your stories are being read in public, that's another angle that I think touches a chord with any author. So in that way also, I feel very proud. And if I combine these two, that when the story gets translated, and then again over and above, it is aired in public by none other than the eminent radio jockeys of Big FM. So that's absolutely fantastic. I really compliment Literoma for having partnered with them and having such a successful offline program as well on the occasion of their Tagore Fest. My story, it's called Retired Heart. And it's a, as you know, that my book, Happy Mess, is a collection of stories of, humor and satire genre. So it's obvious that my story Retired Heart is also belongs to that genre as well. And it's a story of of an old car that undergoes a series of travails. Being old in itself is a painful thing. And over and above, if you go through a series of incidents that inflict more injury on you, apart from your advanced age. So that is the crux of my story. And I'm very happy that people at Big FM they have picked up my story, and they have felt that there's a connection between Tagore's, as I was told by Ritika, that Khudito Pashan, and this story had certain resemblances. And the people at Radio FM, they have adapted this story according to their, understanding. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, I think they had
And
modified.
again,
Yeah, they replaced the car with a house and then they modified it to
Yeah, yeah.
Kutub.
So at first I was quite shocked that it about the replacement, but then I thought that it's a creative freedom that I think one can afford if one tries to reach the public in general. So that way, and so congrats to Literoma, and congrats to all my co-authors who have joined this session and who have featured in the list of winners for the Tagore Fest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your thoughtful points. And definitely, this is going to be also a part of the YouTube channel where we will be uploading the offline event glimpses as well. Thank you so much. And congratulations once again. With this, we'll be stopping the recording.